What web hosting resources out there are the best of the best? Which ones blow away the competition? Which web hosting company has the best set of forums? Who has the best hosting directory? I'm here to go through the piles and mounds of web hosting websites online today to pick out the very best for this special edition of the Web Hosting Show, podcast number 25. Hello and welcome to the Web Hosting Show, the one and only voice of the web hosting world. The Web Hosting Show is brought to you each and every week by the fine folks over at Web Hosting Chat. Web Hosting Chat is your number one place for web hosting discussions, and they can be found at www.webhostingchat.com. Now, who am I? Why, I am the judge of today's beauty contest, the ever-lovable and somewhat handsome web hosting guru, Mitch Keeler. Now, in today's edition of the Web Hosting Show, I want to bring you the best of the best. We're doing something a little different, and instead of following the usual show format that we've done week in and week out, I'm going to throw something new out at you. I'm going to go through and pick out some of my favorite web hosting resources online and tell you why I think, at least, they are the best resources for web hosting out there today. You are always free to disagree, though. I'd love to hear your feedback either by sending me an email over at mitch@mitchkeeler.com, or you can send me a voice message via Skype. My name on Skype is Mitch Keeler, no space in between. If they are good enough, I will either read them or play them on the next week's edition of this podcast. So let's go ahead and get things started with the best web hosting forums. Now, there are a lot of web hosting forums out there. It's really hard to pick the best one, but I have done it, and I believe that it is. I really wish I had a drum roll to play right now. Web Hosting Chat. I would have to say that the best set of forums out there for web hosting right now are the ones found over at webhostingchat.com. I mean, true, I might be a little biased because they are one of the major supporters of this very podcast. But the reason I didn't pick a place like Web Hosting Talk, which would probably be 99.9% of everybody else's obvious pick, is for one simple reason. Now, I was a big fan of Web Hosting Chat's friendly nature way in before I had anything to do with them professionally. Now, with so many other web hosting forums out there, they all get bad names because they have very rude visitors. And they're very rude to new people on the forums as well. But from my experiences so far, just from everybody at Web Hosting Chat, from the moderators to the people who go there each and every day, they are some of the most friendly and willing to help people that you will ever find that know about web hosting. They're simply the best, and that's why Web Hosting Chat is my pick for the best set of web hosting forums. Now let's go ahead and move on down the list. Let's go to the best web hosting magazine. Drum roll. I would have to pick Pingzine as the best web hosting magazine out there today. It was not picked because I have written some articles about them in the past, though. They were picked because they are simply the most fun and informative package all wrapped up into one 30 to 20 page document, magazine, whatever you want to call it. It's that damn good. Now, in comparison with the Web Host Industry Reviews magazine and the Hosting Standard magazine, they are simply a breath of fresh air. Sure, they cover the serious side of web hosting too, but they also cover it with a charisma not found in any other web hosting publication out there. What does this all cost you? It is totally and absolutely free. That is one of the best parts about it. Reading Pingzine is like having somebody walk up to me on the street, hand me $5 bill, and say, there you go, have a nice day. Don't say I never did anything for you. It's that much information packed into a magazine that you get for free. There is no reason why you should not be subscribing to it right now. Now, going right into the next one, I want to give you the best web hosting directory out there today. For my pick, who I picked for being the best web hosting directory, I'd have to go with browsehost.com. They're just simply the best PPC, pay-per-click, web hosting directory out there on the market today. They have some of the best and most organized pages, and they don't waste your time handing you information you don't need to know. The BrowseHost forums are also there, and they are a nice place to visit if you're looking for another set of web hosting forums out there. BrowseHost.com also offers a nice newsletter as well that offers a lot of special deals and helpful hosting information. Now, for the next selection of the best awards for the web hosting show, we go to the best hosting news website. Now, this one might surprise a lot of people out there, but I'm actually going to go out on a limb, and I'm picking HostSearch.com as one of my favorite picks for the best web hosting news provider out there today. HostSearch has some of the best selections of daily news on and about the web hosting world. They also give you a little more than just news, and they make it fun and interesting as well. They give you more than just the web host side of the story. They don't dull you with bland and unimaginative content. It's there, but it's fun to read. It also doesn't hurt that the fact that they offer an RSS feed for their news as well. That way all I have to do is plug it right into my feed reader and check it daily. That's all I've got to do. It doesn't get much better, and it doesn't get much easier than that. Now, for the best hosting search, I'd have to say there's not really a lot of competition for this one, so my selection should not be any surprise. For the best hosting search website out there today, it would have to be findmyhosting.com. If you know what you want, but you don't know where to get it, Find My Hosting is the place to go. If you know that you need a web hosting account, but don't know exactly where to go to get it, Find My Hosting is the place you need to visit. All you need to do is plug in what you need, and you'll be given dozens of options to choose from. They give you hosting customers a chance to get a positive or negative feedback from actual customers signed with that web hosting company. They give you so many avenues to look at, so many options of a web hosting company to investigate. That's why they are the number one, my favorite pick for the best hosting search provider out there today. They also have a nice guide to switching hosts for folks, and I'll make sure that I link to that on the show notes for this very episode of the Web Hosting Show. But last but not least, I want to put in the best web hosting book. Now, honestly, there are not many web hosting books out there today. But the ones that are out there are boring, and they're dull, and they're unimaginative, and they're no fun to read. That is why my selection should not be a surprise to anybody that knows me. The best web hosting book out there today is Locker Gnome's Guide to Web Hosting. Okay, this one did make it onto the list because I wrote it. I will take credit right there. But did you expect me to really pick one of those other crap fests that's out there today? After seeing other web hosting books out there, I can tell you that Locker Gnome's Guide to Web Hosting blows them totally out of the water. I'm not talking down to you, and I'm not throwing a lot of words around that you don't understand. I'm talking to you one-on-one, just like I do with this web hosting show each and every week. Web hosting clients can learn what to look for and what to ask about with their web hosting company. Web hosts can learn about what to expect their web hosting clients and customers to want, and they, get an idea of what the customer is curious about. I go on through the web hosting world, taking it from the head to the toe, and I think I do a pretty damn good job at explaining just about everything when it comes to putting a website online for the world to see. So that's a Locker Gnome's Guide to Web Hosting, and if you're interested in purchasing it, I'll make sure I put a link in the show notes to this episode of the Web Hosting Show, so you can get all the information right there, or you can just go to tutorials.lockergnome.com, search down a couple of entries, and it should be listed there. Now, that's it for this week's edition of the Web Hosting Show. I'm sorry it's a little short, but I was a little busy this weekend. I'm actually recording this for what would actually be last weekend for you now, but it's this weekend for me, and well, you don't need to know how I'm recording it. You got it. It has been played, and now you know a little bit more about the web hosting world. Be sure to send me all your thoughts, all your ideas, all your options, all your feedback, every one of your ideas you've had after listening to this show, straight to Mitch at MitchKeeler.com. You can also send me a voicemail via Skype. My name on there is Mitch Keeler, no space in the middle, to voice your opinions as well. Remember, I'll be playing and reading the best comments that either agree or disagree with my choices on next week's edition of the show. Also, don't forget to sound off about this episode of the Web Hosting Show on the Web Hosting Show's own fan forums. Now, I am Mitch Keeler, and you have been listening to the Web Hosting Show, the voice of the web hosting world.